Hey guys, it's Colton Limburg with eXp Realty. Today we're going to do a market update for the month of January. We do these for the previous month because that's when the data comes in. And once that month is finished, now we have this new data to look at and we can make predictions for the real estate market in the future. So starting off here guys, I have San Pedro and Torrance side by side. If we remember back to the last video, the average sales price for both these areas was closer to each other than it is now. Now the average sales price in Torrance is 1.160942. So let's just call it 1.16. In San Pedro, we're looking at just over $1 million, about $63,000 over $1 million. So $1,063,000 for the average single family home here in San Pedro. Now, if we compare both numbers of these to the entire MLS, all of the MLS areas, we can see that there's been an increase in sales price. Moving forward for my predictions for the average sales price, I do think overall we're going to still be climbing. Again, these winter months, quote unquote, are the slower months of real estate, but we're not really seeing crazy falls in inventory or in sales price. So mentioning inventory, we are going to look at the amount of months of supply. And months of supply is pretty basic. It just means, hey, if no new homes were to come on, how soon in terms of months would it take for all the homes that are currently on the market to be gone? And that's measured in months. So in San Pedro, we're seeing it's about 2.8 months. And in Torrance, we're seeing it's about 1.5 months. And in the entire MLS, so all of California, we're only seeing 2.7 months. So in a balanced market, we really want to see anywhere from 3 to 6 months of supply, with 4 to 5 months being the sweet spot. That basically means that inventory and demand for that inventory have reached an equilibrium, and we're now going to be getting into a plateauing market. We'll start seeing prices come down and more homes on the market. That is the ideal scenario because both buyer and seller both have shared equity. Basically, they're still the same. Currently, as it sits with such low inventory, sellers are going to have slightly more of the advantage, and you'll see that in our next stat, which is days on market. So how long are these properties staying on the market? So in Torrance, we're looking at 34 days. In San Pedro, we're looking at 44 days, which is current with the entire MLS. So what does this mean for sellers? For sellers, this means if you're selling in one of these two areas, keep an eye on the days on market because on average, your home should be selling underneath that 44-day mark. Now, if you're buying and you're looking for a really good deal, you want to find a property that's going to be over the 44-day mark because that is going to be the typical average in the entire state of California, as well as here in San Pedro, and then Torrance is going to be a little bit less. So if you want a really good deal, find a home that's been, passed up by some other people, look for homes that have been sitting on the market for a little bit longer. Now we're going to look at percentage of original list price. So what percentage of original list price means is, hey, at the end of the day, how much of the asking price am I going to be paying or am I going to be receiving depending on what side of the transaction you are. So if this number was at 100%, you'd be paying 100% of the asking price or getting 100% of your asking price. Now, as we can see, all these numbers are very close to 100%. We're looking at 98.7% here in Torrance, which tracks with the lower days on market, which means that there's a little bit more demand for homes in Torrance than there is in San Pedro. That's going to be consistent. More people seem to want to live in Torrance over San Pedro. That's a personal preference thing, but that's what the market's telling us according to this data. Now, as we look in San Pedro, we're looking at about 96.7%, which is actually a good thing because it's slightly up from this time last month. So buyers, you can expect to be paying about 96% of the asking price, so damn near close to ask. So that's a good thing for sellers because you're getting closer and closer to your asking price. If this was, the lowest I've seen was back here in 2023. We're looking at 93% in Torrance, so people were getting some pretty good deals. But if we're looking at 96% and 98% respectively, those are actually pretty good compared to the whole market, which usually hovers right at about 100%, if not higher, like it did back in 2022. Now we're going to look at the amount of active listings in these areas. In Torrance, we have 75 active listings. In San Pedro, we have 61 active listings just of single-family homes, so there is a ton of inventory to go look at. But we do see an increase in the amount of active listings coming on the market, which is a good thing because people are still willing to sell their homes. I wonder if that has something to do with the fire and the increased demand now because of these LA fires for people needing to relocate. Okay, guys, well, that was the single-family home market update for the city of San Pedro and Torrance for the month of January 2025. I'm Colton Limburg with eXp Realty. If you guys have any questions about anything you've seen, please feel free to drop a comment down below. I'd be happy to help out. Or reach out to me directly, 310-896-1871. All right, guys, have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.